So, look who got a package in the mail today. Hello everyone, my name is Rose Shards, but feel free to call me Rose, Rosie, Chloe, or whatever you want. And today, I received a tablet from Parblo, and so I'm gonna be doing an unboxing video and a speed paint and a review of the tablet, so let's just get straight into it. So, firstly, I would just like to say I appreciate how safe the packaging is for this. Like, look at all this bubble wrap, and then it's still, like, layered with all of this protection, and it's still inside the box, so it's pretty good packaging, if I do say so myself. So this is the box. I really like this. It has like a cute little design on it, and so right on the back it says that it's got 8,192 levels of pen pressure, which is pretty good. And it says a lot of other things that I don't really understand, like the pen writing angle is 60 degrees. I don't know how that helps, but it sounds good to me. The report rate is 265 RPS. Again, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna assume that's pretty good. And it comes with a lot of stuff, so let's just open the package. I don't know how to open the, oh. Open! Ooh, almost there. Not very experienced with boxes. Ooh, and here is the tablet. It's a pretty good size. This is honestly the biggest tablet I have ever owned. Let me see if I can get it out. Ooh, ooh. Oh, and here is everything. So let's look at let's look at the tablet first. So again, this is pretty good size. The largest tablet I have ever owned myself. Usually I just have like really small tablets. I don't know, so it's gonna be exciting to try something bigger for once. Ooh, this is fun. Yeah, it's got like this nice cloth on the back. I've never seen this on a tablet before. I assume this is so it doesn't like slide against the table, but that's not an issue for me because I'm not one person who just has their tablet on their lap instead of a table. So yeah, this design actually looks pretty cool. I really do like it. It's got the keys on the side, so I'm not sure what exactly they do yet, but I know that you can like zoom in and zoom out with these and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I do really love this design. It's nice, it's sleek. So let's get into some of the other things. So there's this, which I'm pretty sure is for when your nib kind of gets like low or damaged or whatever, you can replace it by, let me just get this off first. So yeah, basically I'm pretty sure the idea is like to replace your nib, you can stick it in here and then pull out. I'm not sure if it opens up or anything. Feels like it does. So I've opened this, which is it? Oh yeah, so there's a ton of nibs in here. This is pretty cool. I like this. Really liking these designs so far. Let's see what else is in the package. There's the wire, which obviously every tablet needs unless it's wireless. Ooh, I'll read that in a second. Let's see this glove. Again, I love the little package for this. Just like, I love this little Ziploc bag. Oh, and it's got a pretty design on it too. Let's see if this even fits my hand though. It looks pretty big. Okay, yeah, it fits. It's a little big, but it doesn't really matter to me because I personally don't use these gloves. I don't really find them comfortable, so I kind of just draw without, but if you're someone who likes these little gloves, then it comes with this, so you're in luck. I'm not sure what this is for. It's a little cloth. Oh, maybe for cleaning the tablet? I'll read about it in a minute. Oh, okay, so this is talking about like returning it and like their warranty, so it comes with that kind of stuff, which is, again, pretty neat. I'm gonna move this to the side for now. So the last thing in this package is the pen, which even this pen has like a neat little package to keep it nice and protected. Oh, if I can get it off. So yes, I like this pen. It's a cool design. You can click stuff on here. Again, I never really use these buttons, but like if this is something that you like, then again, you are indeed in luck. So yeah, I think that's about it. The package doesn't come with anything else, so now that I've gone over the unboxing portion of the video, I think it's time to see how this bad boy actually performs. So I decided that in order to test out the tablet, I'd make a relatively big drawing, which honestly ended up being too big for my own good. My computer froze several times, and just look at the size of this thing in the bottom left corner as time goes on. It's honestly pretty crazy. So anyways, today I'll be reviewing Parblo's A610plus drawing tablet. I found that the tablet was honestly really amazing. I mean, I was initially shocked by how good the pressure was, which is really saying something. The tablet is a really good size too, with about 10 by 8 inches of drawing space. It also has 10 customizable hotkeys, which is really helpful and convenient. I'll admit that I found that the pen design was a little generic and boring, but ultimately nobody buys a tablet based on how pretty the pen is, so honestly it doesn't really matter. Speaking of the pen, it's completely battery free and doesn't require any sort of charging, has some buttons on it, and comes with 8 extra nibs, so it will definitely last a long time. The design of the tablet is pretty cool though, the back being covered with cloth. I also really loved how the surface of the tablet felt. It's just so nice and smooth. Honestly, it's super satisfying to just rub my hands against it. A little weird, I know, but true. But anyways, I think it's time to get into the actual pros and cons of the tablet, starting with the pros. So, first things first, I wanted to talk about the pressure. The pressure is absolutely astounding. In fact, it was so good, I was initially super shocked. Prior to Parblo, I used Huon, and while the Huon has amazing pressure and I was shocked by it at first too, the Parblo tablet honestly feels like it's on a whole nother level. I find I don't even have to switch brush sizes, even if I'm using a larger brush size and want a super tiny thin line. In fact, you'll notice that while I'm lining this, I actually don't switch brush sizes. At all. The pressure is that damn good. So while it does take some getting used to, it is 100% worth it, seeing as the pressure sensitivity makes it so much more convenient, and it also helps with adding all sorts of little details. I also wanted to talk about the size of the tablet. The size is pretty damn good for $70. I've seen much smaller tablets go for this price, if not more. I found that because of the size of this tablet, it was a lot closer to the size of my monitor, my accuracy when drawing really improving. Because of this, I found that my lines were naturally smoother in a lot of cases as well. It's honestly really cool to actually feel like I have a lot more breathing room when compared to my last tablets. And don't get me wrong, I love my little tablets, but it's harder to draw on them when the drawing space is only like 6 by 4 inches. Honestly, I used to prefer smaller tablets, but this Parblo tablet has definitely changed my mind. The A610plus is also really convenient to draw with, having 10 hotkeys on the tablet and 2 on the pen, all of these hotkeys being 100% customizable to your liking. I find that you honestly don't even need to touch your keyboard at all while drawing, which really helps make the whole process faster. I also found that there wasn't any lag at all when I was drawing, which is also great. Another thing that I liked is that it comes with a lot of extra stuff. For the price of $70, you get a pretty big tablet, a pen with 9 nibs total, a pen stand, a cloth specifically for cleaning the tablet, a drawing glove, and a USB cord. It really feels like the artists were taken into deep consideration with this product, which I can really appreciate. I also really loved the packaging. I know I said it before, but it's worth mentioning again. The packaging was so good and safe, you can really tell that there was a lot of care put into the product, which is something I can also really appreciate. And finally, the price is amazing. It's only $70 and it's a really, really, really good deal. It's a big tablet, performs exceptionally, and will last a long time. I mean, it's crazy to think that I can get a product of such quality at such a good price. Anyways, now that I've gone over the pros, I think I should go over the cons that I discovered. But don't worry, I honestly didn't find anything major. The most annoying thing about the tablet is whenever I touch the pen to any sort of surface, I hear a little clicking sound. I mean, it's pretty quiet and I didn't hear anything at all while I was listening to music or talking to people as I drew, but it's definitely noticeable if you don't have any sort of distraction. Something else that really frustrated me is that you need to completely uninstall all other tablet drivers you have on your computer before you can use this tablet. This is honestly something I really didn't like. Something I really appreciated about Wake Up and Huon is that I could use them both interchangeably. The only thing is that if this is your only tablet or you don't plan on switching between tablets, this shouldn't be an issue for you at all. And to be fair, the only annoying part for me was uninstalling my other drivers. I honestly don't think I'll really be using my other ones now that I have this. And this is really minor, but I found that the glove was honestly pretty big, and this is coming from someone who has relatively large hands. And I know it's not just me because I've seen other reviews that mention this. This literally isn't an issue for me at all though, because I don't really like using drawing gloves anyways, but chances are if you do plan on using the glove, you might have to look into getting a smaller one. Which I guess is also fine because gloves are pretty cheap, but again, this isn't an issue for me at all, but it could be if you do like to use the gloves. So yeah, that's it for the cons, and all of the cons are honestly super minor, and really don't take away from the quality of the product at all. In fact, I was struggling to find any cons at all. You'll also notice I experienced no technical errors, other than when I foolishly downloaded the wrong driver and restarted my computer several times over the span of 2 hours, which was entirely my fault. I completely should have paid more attention to the fact that the driver clearly said it was for the A610, not the A610plus. But yeah, the fact that there were no technical errors for such a cheap tablet was a huge relief. Overall, I think that this tablet is absolutely amazing. The pressure sensitivity is stellar, the size is great, and it comes with a lot of great extra stuff. And it's a great price. I honestly would recommend this tablet to anyone, whether they're on a budget or not. This product is amazing, and I'm definitely looking forward to using it for the many pieces I have planned in the future. Now that I've talked about the tablet, I figured I'd take some time to briefly talk about Dawnpelt as a character, because as you probably know, she's who I'm drawing right now. I feel that there are a surprising amount of people who don't understand her character, specifically when she blamed Jayfeather for Flametail's death. I mean, I find it so surprising in fact. Part of me is honestly expecting a ton of people to comment and say that they knew what I'm going to say, despite all of the hate she gets? I don't know. Regardless, I really loved analyzing this part of the book, so I'm going to share my thoughts anyways. I personally believe that this scene in Warriors was one of the best little side plots in the whole series, primarily because we've never really seen anything like this before. The vast majority of people I've seen talk about this and talk about how crappy she is and how ridiculous it was that she could even blame Jayfeather at all, without even looking at her point of view. In fact, the truth is she never really blamed Jayfeather. She always blamed herself. Alright, maybe she did actually make herself believe it was Jayfeather's fault, but it was only a coping mechanism. Truth is, Dawnpelt is completely responsible for his death. Imagine your brother has been working extremely hard and has been looking very stressed, worried, and exhausted. You would want him to have a small break, right? So you tell your brother that some of the others are playing on the ice while it's frozen over, and suggest that he goes and joins them. Now imagine he listens to you and finally decides to take a break because of you, but something goes wrong and suddenly he drowns. How would you feel, knowing that it was your own advice that led your brother to his untimely death? You would feel absolutely horrendous. You would never be able to escape the guilt. But wait, suddenly someone goes in to try and save him, but resurfaces without your brother. While deep down you know it would be hard to save someone who is drowning, wouldn't you feel a sense of relief knowing that you can go on with your life? Telling yourself that your brother's death was not your fault, but someone else's? That's a brief explanation of what makes Dawnpelt's character arc so emotional. While it may not be right to use the opportunity to escape your own guilt, most would much prefer this than to live with the constant guilt that they got their own family member killed. I believe that Dawnpelt is likely using a coping mechanism referred to as projection, in which you cope by placing your unwanted feelings and such onto another person. For example, if you're with a friend and your fear of heights is preventing you from doing something, you may instead accuse your friend of having a fear of heights and use that as your reasoning as to why you won't do said thing. And while this isn't the exact same as Dawnpelt's situation, she is lashing out and projecting her own feelings of guilt and such for getting her brother killed onto Jayfeather, accusing him of getting Flametail killed rather than herself. And while this isn't right, most of the time your mind will do this subconsciously in order to ease your anxieties, so she's not entirely at fault here in my opinion. Realizing your own advice got your brother killed would be horribly traumatic, so her mind is trying to make all of these excuses and take all these feelings of self-hatred and regret and pin them onto Jayfeather instead. Now, everyone knows Jayfeather would never do such a thing to a friend of his or anyone for that matter, and knows that there would be no reason for him to do so anyways. Even Dawnpelt knows this, which is why we don't really hear about the situation again until 2 books later, when Dawnpelt has attempted to give a reason for Jayfeather to have killed Flametail, reinforcing the idea that it wasn't her that got her own brother killed. She says how the medicine cats all seem to be acting strange, and that Jayfeather and Flametail were likely having some quarrels, this leading to Flametail's murder. Of course this is a stretch, but in the mind of someone who's just suffered intense emotional trauma, it's a good enough reason, especially when the true suspect here, or if I can even say suspect, is yourself. Dawnpelt is noted to have been acting weird ever since Flametail's death. I believe this showing how torn apart she is emotionally after what had just happened. While you can say anyone would act strange after losing a loved one, you can clearly see that Tigerheart, Dawnpelt, and Rowanclaw are not acting differently. Though they may be sad, Dawnpelt has been burdened with so much more than just the loss of Flametail, but the fact that her own advice got him killed, which is why she's acting out even more so. Tigerheart tells Devilwing and then Ivypool about Dawnpelt's feelings, but makes it clear to them that she's mainly just hurt. She later accuses Jayfeather of being a murderer at the gathering, causing a huge fight. What makes this scene especially powerful is the fact that Dawnpelt is not only trying to validate her anger towards Jayfeather by getting everyone else to believe that he was responsible, but herself. If everyone else believes that Jayfeather was at fault for Flametail's death, then she will fully be able to rationalize why her brother drowned and see how it wasn't her fault too. If everyone else believes it, why shouldn't she? It's also noted that she becomes especially aggressive with ThunderClan and specifically wants to start fights, which would make sense because she's taking out all of her anger and self-hatred out on others. Instead of getting angry with herself, she wants an excuse to be angry with others instead for what happened, which is why I think that Dawnpelt's character was extremely emotional, well-written, and maybe even relatable in some cases. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly talk about Dawnpelt because I find it really shocking that a lot of people don't understand her and how she always blamed herself for what happened to Flametail. She's such an intriguing and captivating character, and I find it really sad that so many people hate her. While it's not good to blame others and go to such lengths, I can completely understand what compelled her to do so, and I feel great amounts of sympathy for her. I really hope I've convinced some of you to feel the same. Also, if you like a print of this, they will be available in my shop and will be $5 off for 48 hours, so you want to act fast. I'll also have larger print sizes available for just a few days. But enough about Dawnpelt. I'd like to talk about the tablet again for a few brief moments. I think that Parblo is an amazing tablet, especially at the price. The quality is absolutely amazing, and you can tell that a lot of care was put into it, which I can really appreciate. If you guys are interested in purchasing this tablet, which I highly recommend you do, you can check out the description to find the purchase link and a coupon code. Anyways, that's all for now. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun to make. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now. Bye.